My photo storage is almost full. That's unfortunate. How does one open this thing? Hey Marius, what's up? I'm doing pretty well, thank you. I hope you're doing good. If you'd like a tarot reading, just ask a question, hey, and that'll add you to the queue. You're welcome to add yourself to the queue. Welcome back, Om Nama. Good to see you. Sorry I'm a bit late, guys. I know I usually go live at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Today I was sound asleep at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Took a nap. I wasn't even gonna bother going live when I woke up and I saw what the time was, but anyway, I was like, hey, it's not that big of a deal, it's a Sunday. No problem, Marius. Thanks for checking in. Omnama says my name is Jyoti. Yeah, cool. I was talking to Marius on Facebook, but it's good to know your name. I'm doing pretty well. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well. I don't know if you guys know this, but I struggle with bipolar mood disorder. So there's some moments where I feel overexcited in mania. It's like mania. It's this intense excitement that comes out of anxiety. It's not even like happy excitement, and then other side of the spectrum is depression. So I jump between these, swing between these. It usually comes on with triggers. I'll see something or someone will say something and it like hits harder than it should. It like hurts a little more than it should. It doesn't really make much sense, but then suddenly I'm really struggling to feel okay. What I do to cope is some meditation and some music. That's how I cope. Yeah, that's something else that I do is music. I'm not only a sorcerer. That is what I do primarily though, like these tarot readings, and I sell them in private sessions and other occult services like energy healing and spell casting mediumship, all that sort of thing. But then I'm also an artist, a visual artist, and a musician. I play the piano and the guitar, and I'm a vocalist as well. You used to do meditation, why did you stop? Marius is asking me if I want to go to a VC after this. No thanks, Marius. No thanks. Yeah, I've got family here. I've got a house, and they need my company, and yeah, it's good to spend time with the family on a weekend. Yeah, but thanks for asking. It would be good to catch up sometime, just not this evening. Om Namah, smoking is a great benefit to my health. Thank you for your blessing. I wouldn't recommend that you try it. It'll probably be injurious and hazardous to your health. So please don't follow my example. As you know, the queue works. You just ask a question to get into the queue. So yeah, if you're interested in a reading, you don't have to. It's entirely up to you. But I do enjoy this chatting thing that we're doing. It's very seldom that I get a chance to like interact with my audience. Most of the time I go live and immediately I get spammed with questions, like from the very moment that I hit the live button. It's really great to have just some casual chatting. Mario says, I'm gonna go for now. I'm on my way back to my city. See you next time. Cheers. It was nice to see you. Nice to chat and hear from you. And yeah. It's interesting. Where are you off to? Where are you now that you're going back to your city? Are you traveling for your athletics? Just so you guys know, this Marius is a good friend of mine. He is like a world competing athlete, and he always like takes gold medals. I see every time he goes on a tour, he comes back with a gold medal or a silver medal. He like doesn't lose. He's fucking good. Fucking fit. Om Namah says, does Narendra love me? What does he feel about me? So I'm gonna ask the tarot, what's he thinking, what's he feeling. I'm not gonna ask the tarot if he loves you. We can reserve that for a pendulum. A pendulum can answer yes or no. Tarot is going to tell you what is he feeling, what's he going through, what's he thinking. How does he see you? How does he feel about you? How does Narendra feel about Jayoni? Okay, so he's got here a number 12 of the trumps reversed. It's the Hangman. This is a very interesting card. It's kind of saying that he feels like your company is suffering. Like talking to you or interacting with you is something that he has to face. Like something he doesn't want to face but chooses to face anyway. It's weird. Weird card. This is something in the past, though. It's not necessarily what's going on in the present, but it's saying that basically he has felt like interacting with you and being in your company was tedious. It was something he had to do for whatever reason. He felt like it was something that was important, that he does it, that he spends time with you, but it was something that he felt was difficult and tedious. This is coming to a close. He was looking to make some kind of breakthrough, maybe a breakthrough in himself, maybe a breakthrough in the relationship. Maybe you were going through something and he wanted to help you reach a breakthrough. That's probably what it was. You were probably dealing with stuff, and so you came to him for advice, or you spoke to him, complaining most of the time about what's going on, or just trying to bounce off of him, trying to work through whatever you were dealing with him. So he felt like that was tedious, but he wanted to help you get through. He wanted to help you reach a breakthrough. But that's coming to a close. That breakthrough was found. You reached your breakthrough. Okay, so in the present we have a number 2 of the trumps reversed. This is also very interesting. It's saying that he sees that you want something, you want to attain, you want to manifest like abundance into your life, abundance in your physical world, like wealth. You want to manifest success, you want to grow in your spirituality. And there's all this potential around you, like meditation is part of that potential, but you say you used to do it, you don't do it anymore. You can't stop, it's like if you stop exercising, you lose all of the strength that you gained while you were exercising. It's the same with meditation. It's exercising and developing your focus. So if you stop, then you start losing focus again. But basically, abundance in your focus, in your spirituality, in your physical world, and there's all this potential for you to get that, and yet you reach out for it, you grab it, and then you don't commit, you stop. And that's something that he's seeing, and it's something that makes him feel a little disappointed and a little discouraged to see that in you. Future interval is a 7 of swords. This is what's about to open up for him. Basically, this is saying that he needs to make some decisions about what is the purpose of this relationship, and does he even want to be in this relationship with you. Like, that doesn't necessarily imply romance. It could even just be talking about friendship. This is the 7 of swords. So swords is about purpose, and 7 is about decision making, responsibility, choosing where you're going to go, choosing what your outcome looks like. So this card is saying that he's going to make some decisions about where this relationship is going and whether it's healthy for him to be in it. And he's got to just contemplate what is more important, developing the relationship or developing his own goals. Can they work together? That's basically what this card is saying, is decisions, self-contemplation, and then making decisions. Welcome to the chat, Sahu. You can get into the queue by asking your question, as you know. So please go ahead and ask your question. Welcome, Sharma Shivani. It's been a while since I've seen your name in the chat. Please just go ahead and ask your question to join the queue. That's how the queue works. As soon as you ask a question, you will get added. If you'd like a general reading, just say that, and also add you to the queue. I'm going to need to excuse myself for a moment. Sharma wants a general reading, and Sahu says, can I know what is my Ashok feeling for me? Does he miss me? Okay, excuse me for a moment. I'm going to be right back. Yeah, Om's reading is done. Basically, the tarot said that he finds the relationship to be very unfulfilling, and you constantly leave him feeling disappointed. And he's about to decide whether or not he actually wants to be in this relationship or not. That's what the tarot said. Okay, so Sahu is next, and then Sharma. Sharma, your question automatically adds you to the queue. So thank you for saying that you want a general reading. That means you're in the queue. How does Ashok feel about Sahu? What's he feeling towards Sahu? One question per person per stream. If you'd like me to use that pendulum for you, you can send a donation and I'll do the pendulum for you. Donation of your choosing. Any amount is fine. But I only give one free reading per person. And yeah, I am aware when people use multiple YouTube accounts or multiple accounts. I do know when they're doing that, so don't waste your time. Past interval here is number 15 of the trumps. It is called the Devil, Sahu. Sahu, I don't think you realize what's going on. Om Namah is asking for a pendulum reading in addition to the tarot reading. So I'm saying one free reading per person. Send a donation if you want me to pull another card and use the pendulum for you. Sahu, your past interval is the Devil card, yes. Number 15. This just talks about adversity, difficulty, struggle, challenges in the past. So it's things that are coming to a close. I guess he feels like there is a lot of resistance to the relationship. Like I know that he's got work and it takes him abroad, so there's space between you guys. Yeah, I guess that's part of it. That's part of the struggle, is being separate from you. Basically he feels like you guys have some disagreements. You don't necessarily see eye to eye. You spend so much time separate that he learns things and you learn things, and you guys grow separately in your own directions. And as you get back together, there's more and more incompatibilities. But then you just go on doing that. He's just like, okay, yeah, you just keep doing your thing and I'll just keep doing my thing. So it's not an unhealthy. It's not talking about any kind of unhealthy adversity or struggle. But it is something that's coming to a close. Your present interval is the 5 of Cups. So basically, this is just saying that right now what he's doing is trying to do the best that he can with what he is experiencing in his emotional self. Because of this adversity that we see in the past, where you say there's ignoring going on, separated and pain, so that causes difficult emotions for him, and so he's just doing the best that he can to cope with those feelings, applying himself to his creative process. So he's working, and whatever he has to do in his work, I don't know what he does for a living, but applying himself within that is his form of creativity. Coming up with solutions for his job and growing in his work is part of his creativity. So he's just trying to allow his emotions to inspire that process, to inspire him within his work, and and his creative process, doing the best that he can to cope with what he feels. Future interval is number 20 of the trump, so this is talking about judgment. It's called the Aeon. This is self-judgment, righteous judgment, not unhealthy judgment. You know, when you walk around and you say, oh, that person is wrong for doing that, and you say it to them, or you say, oh, I'm not going to be your friend because you do that, because you eat ice cream with a fork. That's a bad example, but anyway, that's unhealthy judgment. So that healthy judgment looks like observing yourself and saying, okay, where have I acted in ways that were hurtful to other people, and where have I acted in ways that are constructive and supportive to other people, and then just learning from your mistakes and learning from your successes. And the same with other people, looking at them, and then someone comes to you and tries to tell you how you should be living your life, and then you can look at them and say, okay, well, you do that in your life, but it doesn't produce healthy results for you, so therefore I'm not going to take that advice. That's healthy judgment. You don't even have to say that. You can say thank you for your advice, and just know for yourself that you're not going to apply that because you've seen how it has a negative impact on someone else's life. That's basically the healthy kind of judgment, where you look at others and you can see clearly whether or not their behavior is healthy or unhealthy, and then choosing whether or not you're going to follow that example or take their advice based on what you can discern. And that's basically what's about to open up for you both in the relationship. He's going to be observing you and seeing where you have been healthy and where you have been unhealthy, the things that you've learned, and seeing whether or not it has had a positive impact on your life or a negative impact. And the same for himself. He's just going to be doing that self-reflection, and the purpose of this is so that he can move forward, so that you can both move forward into a reality where you're making less mistakes, following better advice, and applying your methods for success and growth, basically. And that concludes your reading, so thank you very much for joining me. I see we've got some other requests since I started that reading. Dimpy C is asking about a maintenance case. Peggy is asking about a reading for 2020. But there was someone else in my queue after Sahu. Sharma Shivani. Let me know if you're still here, Sharma, or otherwise I'm going to move on to Peggy. You're welcome, Sahu. Dimpy C, your question adds you to the queue automatically, so yeah. Just have patience, please. Sharma Shivani's here. Awesome. General reading for Sharma. What general advice does the universe have for Sharma Shivani? What opportunities are in front of her that she could seize? Welcome, Leticia. To get into the queue, just ask your question. I also accept general readings, just let me know. Your question will automatically add you to the queue. Okay, Sharma, so your past interval is number 4, the Emperor, reversed. Basically, this is talking about an unhealthy masculine figure in your life. That could be a boyfriend, that could be a father, could be a brother. Basically, this is talking about having to... You were trying to set structure for yourself and routine for yourself, and basically apply authority over your reality, but you were met with resistance, and there was an example, a masculine figure, whether it was a partner or a relative, who made that almost impossible for you. Kind of every time that you try to step out into your own authority, you were met with the resistance from this masculine character who would be like, no, you have to do it this way, not that way. What you're trying to do is wrong, you have to do it the way I'm saying. And that was to your detriment. That kept pulling you away from your objectives and from your goals. This is coming to a close, though, This is past interval, so I'm feeling it's kind of like 2021, like the last 2 months, November and December 2021, and coming to a close, things finally finding their resolution this month in 2020. Yeah, 2020's February is tomorrow. Okay, so your present interval is the Knight of Wands. So in the present, you're undergoing a rebirth. You are re-examining your desires and your intentions towards those desires, contemplating what are you actually passionate about, and so all of the old intentions that you had set you're letting them die, you're killing them, because you realize that you actually want something else. What you thought you wanted up until this point is not necessarily what you want right now. So all the intentions and everything you were passionate about before is falling away as you're giving birth to this new desire and setting new intentions and finding new passions in yourself towards it. Your future interval is the Five of Swords. This is nice. This is what's about to open up for you. So this is you taking steps towards accomplishing that desire that you're giving birth to in the present, as you're identifying what it is you actually want for yourself and out of life. So what's about to open up for you is you actually putting one foot in front of the other and walking towards that goal. And 5 is about applying yourself to your maximum potential. So basically what's about to open up for you is you just applying all of your knowledge, all of your experiences, all of your resources, all of your intuition, applying it to its maximum potential towards making your desires become real in your life. Just see them realized, see them manifested. And that I would just encourage you to just stick to it. When you start, stick to it. Make sure that you don't take steps that are too big. That's the advice this card has to say, is you will be applying yourself to your maximum, but even when we do that, there are still limits on how much we can accomplish. Based on what we know and based on what we have, our resources and our knowledge, there always have limits. Every moment that you put one foot in front of the other, you overcome those limits, but there are limits. So the advice this card has is stay consistent. Once you are applying yourself, stay consistent. There might be points where you feel like you're not making progress, but just keep on going. And the other piece of advice it has for you is trying to make your steps not too big. If you try and reach further than what your knowledge can carry you, then you'll probably end up going backwards rather than forwards, like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That'll happen if you try and leap too far ahead. So just make sure that as long as you're taking 1 step, it's okay. It doesn't matter how small that step is, you're getting closer towards your goal. So just put 1 step in front of the other. Don't try and make them too big. Don't try and run too fast or jump too far ahead. Dimpy, I already told you that you are in the queue, so please have patience. Would be amazing if you could just have a little bit of patience. Thank you. Leticia Portia has asked for a general reading. Awesome. So Leticia, you are in the queue. Your statement regarding general reading adds you to the queue automatically. I'm gonna have a look. Okay, we've got Peggy. Peggy, if you're here, let me know. I'm sure you are here, but just confirm. No problem, Sharma. And thank you for joining me. Please, if you haven't already, please like and share and follow me. Would be, yeah, much appreciated. Thank you. So then Peggy would be up next. Peggy on Facebook, please confirm. Amazing. Thank you. Okay, wait, hang on. I see Dimpy asked his question twice. Okay guys, can you please, I just want to make this statement, please ask your question only once, because when you ask it multiple times it gets confusing. Like over here I see Peggy before Dimpy's question, but if I scroll up I see Dimpy asked a question before Peggy. So Dimpy, yeah, you create confusion by asking a question multiple times and by spamming asking me again and again if I'll take your question. It just creates confusion. It just makes it more likely that you're going to be in the queue in the correct order. So sorry Peggy, you are after Dimpy. Dimpy, please confirm that you are here. Dimpy C on Facebook, please confirm that you are here. Final call, Dimpy C on Facebook, please confirm if you are still here. Okay, cool. What is on the table for Peggy in 2022? Alright, so Peggy, your past interval card is number 14 of the trumps. It's called Art. This card is reversed. Basically, it talks about having a bit of difficulty working with others. It's in the past. It's a past interval card, so it's like 2021. You had certain things that you were doing in 2021, certain goals that you wanted to accomplish, and you had to work with others, and you had a lot of difficulty with that. Probably feeling like your creative process wasn't valued, like what you had to offer wasn't valued by the others who you were working with. Also feeling like having difficulty being flexible with your process, like when someone else, feeling like having to work with other people was more to a detriment to the outcome. If you had to do it alone, you would probably, you felt anyway, this is not necessarily true, but you felt like you would have had a better chance at the outcome without having to work with others. And basically that card is only showing up to say that that's something that has to be turned the right way around. You have to be able to work with others in 2022 if you want to get to whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. Like, you asked me what's happening for 2022 for you. Basically, you get to decide. Whatever you are visualizing for yourself by the end of 22, that's what 2022 holds for you. And then the means that you can see that happening, because you gotta, in order to manifest something, you gotta first visualize it in its completion. Like, by the end of 22, what am I gonna have? What's my life gonna look like? And then you look at how you're gonna get there. How can I put one foot in the front of the other and move towards that outcome? So this card is showing up, this past interval card is showing up to say that you can increase your chances of seeing the 2022 you want to see if you can turn that card around and find healthy ways to work with other people. So your present interval is the Queen of Discs. She's also reversed. Now, this card, it has a twofold meaning. First of all, it's talking about a little bit of overwhelm and hopelessness. So you have an idea of what you want for 2022, but you feel like it's too big for you to manifest it. Like it's hopeless. Like what you want out of life, what you want for it's discs. So what you want for your health, what you want for your finances is more than you can accomplish. And the card wants to say to you that no, that's not the case. If you can visualize it, it's possible. It's about finding a new means. The means that you're currently using might not be enough to accomplish what you desire, but there is a means, and you can find it, and you can identify it, and you can begin applying it. The other thing that this card is saying, the other side of it, like I said, twofold meaning. The second one is that you have a little realm of security. You have a little oasis in the desert. The world around you is struggling. People are losing their jobs, etc. But you have enough. You have enough food, and you have a roof over your head, and you have clothes to wear. So you have this little oasis of security. But greed, your wanting for more, is putting that at risk. You are making losses and basically backtracking a little bit because you're looking too far ahead, looking over the horizon at something more than what you have, and overlooking how much you actually do have. Key to growth is gratitude, and those are the two sides of the coin that card had to say for you. Future interval here is the Fool reversed. This is what is about to open up for you. And this card is saying that you are feeling like you need to change direction in where you're going and what your journey is. And this card is saying that you should stick where you are. You should stay where you are. You can do it. You can take your quantum leap into a new reality, into a new path, a new journey, a new means. But the card wants to say that you will have better luck staying consistent with what you have been creating until now, rather than starting from scratch with something else. You can do that if it's what you desire. If you feel like that really needs to happen, that shift really needs to happen, then you can. And if you stay committed to what you choose, the new direction that you choose, you will find the resolution that you're looking for. The card just wants to suggest that you stick to what you have been building until now. Because if you switch direction, if you change direction now, then basically everything that you have worked on so far you lose. And yeah, the advice that this future card wants to give you is that you don't need to do that. You can stay consistent with what you're doing. You can make changes to what you are doing rather than starting from scratch with something else. And that is the conclusion of your reading. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome, Ritik. Ritik says, "Hello, sir. I recently got a reading from you, and that really helped. I also wanted you to know that I have an important competition in February, which will run entire Feb. How is it going for me, and what things do I need to know?" Amazing. So Ritik, I'm really glad to hear that you were blessed by the reading that I gave you. If you would like to express that appreciation, please feel free to send a donation as a token of your gratitude. And your question adds you to the queue for a reading today. So if you have some patience, we will be getting to you. Thank you very much for joining me. So next up we have Leticia Portia. Leticia, please confirm that you are still with us, that you're still here in the chat, in the stream. Leticia Portia on Facebook for a general reading. Peggy says thank you. You're welcome, Peggy. Thank you for joining me. Leticia is here. Awesome. Glad to hear it. What general guidance does the universe and the spirits thereof have for Leticia, and what opportunities and what potential exists in her present that she could be grabbing a hold of? Okay, Leticia, your past interval is number 9 of the trumps. It is called the Hermit. So basically that Hermit talks about a period of self-reflection that you've just come out of. It's something that's coming to a close now in the present. It's something you have been going through in this month and the last month. And basically you were reflecting on your 2021, looking at yourself within 2021 and all of the efforts that you made. Like, where was I when 2021 started? It's now January 2022, so where was I in January 2021? And how much have I grown since then? How much has changed in my life? Has there been positive growth and positive changes throughout 2021? Did I hurt people? Did I support people? 2021 was very stressful, so how did I cope with that stress? Did I cope with it by putting that stress onto the people around me? Did I cope with it by focusing on what I was creating for myself? Basically, you were acknowledging your faults in 2021 and acknowledging your successes, and you were going through this process so that you could learn from it, so that you could make more progress in 2022. You're looking and saying, hey, not all that much has really changed for me since 2021 January. there has been growth, but it could have been more. So what can I do better this year so that there'll be more growth by January 2023? And that's what your self-reflection was about. And as you come through that, you move into completion. The old cycle where you were back in 2021, it's come to a close now. You're in a new cycle as a result of that self-reflection. Present interval is the Seven of Swords, so this is you choosing a direction for yourself. This is, in the present, you are looking at all these possibilities for 2022. What does the end of 2022 look like for you? Like what kind of growth are you hoping to accomplish this year? What do you want to see? Like, how much financial growth have you got? How much spiritual growth? How much emotional growth? Basically, you're looking and saying, okay, what is the outcome of this year? What do I want it to look like? There are many possibilities, endless possibilities. So you're choosing which one you're going to manifest for yourself, which one you're going to work towards. And then you're going to choose how you're going to get there, what your method is going to be. That's what you're busy doing right now in your present, is doing this, identifying where you're going and how you're going to get there. Thanks, I got one. And that is a good thing, because as long as you have endless possibility in front of you, none of it's manifesting. As soon as you've chosen an outcome and you start moving towards it, then something is happening, something's manifesting. You're getting a little bit closer step by step. The advice that this card has for you to help you make your decision and choose your direction is to have a look at what your heart desires for yourself. Like, what is the truest desire of your heart? Then you can choose your outcome and your direction, how you're going to get there, based on what's aligned with your purpose, basically. When you are taking action towards what your heart truly desires, that is when you're existing within purpose. So the advice is there, identify, okay, what does my heart truly want for me and my life and the person that I am authentically? Then you can choose your outcome and how much you're going to grow and what you're going to manifest for yourself based on whether or not it's aligned with your heart's desire. And then you can choose your actions, the steps that you're going to take to get there, also based on what's authentic to your desire, to your heart. Your future interval is the Knight of Discs. It's reversed. Welcome to the chat, Pummers. So if you would like a reading next, that's $5, because there is a queue. You know, if you ask a question, you'll be in the queue, but there is someone ahead of you. So if you'd like to be next, immediately next, that requires $5 tip. The Knight of Discs here, it's talking about a rebirth in your physical world. So that's either, it's a reversed card, so that's either going to look like being evicted from where you're living, or it looks like losing your job, being fired. If the card is the right way around, it's something that you choose. It's you choosing to move from one place to another, or it's you choosing to quit your job and get a new one. But because it's reversed, it's talking about that being forced on you. It's a rebirth in your career and your home space. That is not something you're necessarily choosing. It's something the universe is choosing for you. But you can be aware of it, so you can start preparing. You can start getting ready. You can look for another job. Look for ways that you can start your own business if that's what you prefer. Basically, you can start preparing for this rebirth because you know it's coming. It's what's about to open up for you. Your general reading, I'm trying to understand how far in the future this is going to be for you. Based on these numbers here, we've got 9 and 7. Yeah, I don't feel like you've got very long. It's going to be within the next month. Within February, this rebirth is going to occur, so I'll encourage you to make your decisions about where you're going and what the end of your year looks like, and then you start working on that ASAP, basically. These rebirth cards they're difficult to work through. A rebirth is often painful, the ending is painful and stressful, but the changes that come about as a result of the rebirth is always to bring you into alignment with who you truly are. So It might be difficult to go through, but it is a healthy change. And that concludes your reading. Welcome, Sheepa. So to join the queue, you ask a question. As soon as you ask a question, you'll be in the queue. Palmers, I just want to remind you that if you want a reading today, you're going to have to ask a question, otherwise you're not going to get into the queue. I do general readings, but you're also going to have to let me know that you want a general reading. Any question? Yes, any question will do. You're most welcome, Leticia. Thank you for joining me today. Please like and share this video feed. And yeah, I hope that I'll be seeing you again soon. Just want to let everybody know, tomorrow I'm doing spell casting. Tomorrow at like 2:30 GMT plus 2. Depending on where you are in the world, that will be different. But Google is your friend. You can check out how far your time zone is from GMT plus 2. I'll be doing free spell casting, basically. So whatever you want to manifest into your life, if you join me tomorrow, and I can cast a spell for you to help you make that a reality for yourself. Does the question have to be about the reading? Lol. I can answer your question as far as my knowledge goes. So no, your question doesn't have to be about the reading. But you're going to have to, if you want a reading, you're going to have to ask a question or let me know that you want a general reading, because that kind of question is not going to add you to the queue for a reading. You know, that's me confirming for you how the question and queue works, but it doesn't add you to the queue. So next in the queue is Ritik Kaushal. Ritik, if you're still here, please let me know, because you're up next. Amazing. Thank you for confirming. So Ritik says, I have an important competition in February which will run the entire of Feb. How is it going for me, and what do I need to be aware of? Now that's a good question. And Palmer says, okay, my question is, how can I make my life better by the end of the year? Now that's also a good question. And that question adds you to the queue. Thank you very much. How is Ritik's February competition going, and what does he need to be aware of? Okay, so your past interval here, Ritik, is number 16 of the trumps. It is the Tower. It's reversed. So this is saying that something has happened. Something happened that made you aware of your limits, that made you aware of your insecurities. I don't know if you've done this kind of competition before. I feel like you have. And basically this card is saying that the last time you did a competition like this, you realized that there were certain things you believed about what you were capable of that were not true. You thought you would do better because you thought you knew more or were capable of more. So your identity that was built around that belief, that insecure belief, believing something that wasn't necessarily true, going through the competition and then realizing that your ability to win that competition wasn't as solid as you had believed, it wobbled your identity. It made you, it wobbled your identity. It collapsed your tower. So you had to rebuild that tower based on things that were true, based on how strong your capabilities really were. things that you knew to be true about yourself, so that you could apply yourself in the next competition based on things that were true rather than on things that were not true. And that is a healthy thing. It's unfortunate that you had to go through it. So the advice that this card has for you is to turn that around, to regularly reflect on yourself and the things that you believe about yourself, so that you can work insecurities out of your identity. If you do this, then when you're faced with a situation that requires that you test your capacity to its limit, then you won't have your identity shattered, because you will already be aware of your limits and your insecurities. Okay, so your present card is Knight of Cups. So this card is just telling me that you're going through a rebirth in your emotional self. You're feeling anxiety and stress and uncertainty. So you're learning new ways to cope with that. In the past, you had a tendency to start telling yourself stories in your mind that would make you feel better and make the anxiety ease. But those stories were delusion. They were self-believed lies, so they were unhealthy. This time, however, you are destroying that old process, that old pattern of telling yourself stories to alleviate your fears. You're finding new ways to cope with your fears, healthier ways to cope with your fears. And again, this card is reversed, so it's because of failure in the past. It's not because of something you have chosen for yourself. It's not a process that you're choosing for yourself. Like I will regularly sit down and say, okay, I've been coping with these feelings in the way that I've been coping with my feelings lately has been detrimental to those around me, so I need to make some changes to how I cope with those emotions. But your rebirth here, it has come because of failures, because you've seen how you haven't been given a choice. Basically, you are going through this rebirth in your emotions because the universe has decided you have to go through these changes. It's not something you've chosen for yourself. Future interval is the 8 of Wands. So this is what's about to open up for you. This is what February holds for you. And you asked me what do you need to be aware of. So this card is saying that it'll be beneficial for you to make some shifts and changes to your methods. You can reapply old methods, and you'll probably still do better in this competition than last time. But this card's advice for you is that if you make some shifts to your methods, you bring them more into alignment with who you are. So basically, you want to win, right? So now look at who you need to become in order to win. What do you have to change in yourself? Well, it's not about what you have to change. You can do things the way you used to do them. Identify who you have to be. What kind of person wins this competition? And then how can you make changes to yourself in order to become that person? That's basically what this card is suggesting. Who do you need to become in order to be the winner? What is the person who wins this kind of competition? What does he look like? What kind of character does he have? What kind of methods does he have? And then make changes to yourself and your methods and your intentions in order to align yourself with that kind of person who would win. And that concludes your reading. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you for expressing your gratitude for readings that I've given you in the past. And then we have a Suhana who has joined us saying hello. Hey Suhana, thank you for joining. It's good to see you again. And Louise Smith Black. So Louise, I don't think I've seen your name in this chat before. Thank you for joining me today and welcome. Much appreciated. Always enjoy seeing new names and new faces. You can automatically add yourself to the queue by asking a question. You can also receive a general reading if you prefer a general reading, but just let me know. Thank you. And then Shipa is saying, why Manohar is not coming towards me. Can you pick my question, please? So Shipa, I feel like that's the second time you've asked a question. So please only ask a question once, otherwise you create confusion for both me and you and everyone else in the chat. So if you, you only have to ask a question once to join the queue. And I answer these questions in the order that they appear. First come, first serve. I only skip people if they are not here when I get to their reading. And yeah, if this countdown clock reaches 0, then I stop giving away free readings, and all of my readings become gratuity based thereafter, donation based. Maria Tasha, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. As I was saying earlier, I always appreciate seeing new names and new faces. So your question automatically adds you to the queue, so thank you very much. You are in my queue. And have a look at my timer, my countdown. See how much time we still have. And then I'd just like to encourage my viewers to support the stream and support my efforts by liking and sharing this video and following me. And also, guys, all of you who have received readings, if you appreciate your reading and you'd like to express your appreciation, please feel free to do so by sending a donation of your choosing. Okay, so we still got an hour and 3 minutes on the clock. So Shipa, I'm going to say this one more time. Please only ask your question once. Please do not spam my chat. That will result in ban. Have patience. Welcome back, Vivek. Sorry I didn't get to you on Friday. You joined right at the end of my stream. Please ask your question to be added to the queue. After Leticia is Shipa. Shipa is next in line for a reading. Are you still here, Shipa? I hope you didn't leave. Let me know if you're still here. Why is Manohar not coming towards me? And then Ritik says, I really appreciate your readings. It's 100% accurate. I'm running short with money now, but I will definitely support your efforts with a donation in the future. Thanks for guiding time to time again. You are most welcome, Ritik, and thank you for your repeated viewage and your repeated support. Thank you. Amazing. Shipa is still here. Why is Manohar reluctant to approach Shipa? Louise, as I was saying to someone else earlier, you only create confusion for me and for yourself and for everyone else in the chat by repeatedly spamming your question. You only need to ask your question once in order to get into the queue. So yeah, please have patience and please refrain from spamming. Shipa, your past interval card is number 4 of the trumps. It is the Emperor. He is reversed. So basically this card is talking about a negative or unhealthy masculine influence. This could be a father figure, it could be a male relative, it could be a partner. It's a past interval card, so it's something that's coming to a close, but basically this card is saying that you have, or Manohar has attempted to put structure in place, to put to try and create a routine in order to get to goals for himself or herself. And this unhealthy masculine influence kept getting in the way of that process. I can't really be sure if it's talking about Manohar himself or if it's talking about you. Is Manohar male? Is Manohar female? Is Shipa male? Is Shilpa male or female? Because that'll help me know for certain what this card is talking about. But one of you has been trying to set routine. You have a goal that you want to manifest. One of you, I don't know which one, but one of you is trying to reach a goal, and there is a masculine figure, a relative or a partner, who comes and pokes holes in that routine, saying, oh no, what you're doing is wrong, you have to do it the way I say in order to get there. And this has been detrimental to those goals. Every time that you try and step out into the routine and into the structure and put one foot in front of the other towards your objective, then there's this unhealthy character, this unhealthy masculine figure that makes it almost impossible and keeps bringing you away from your goals. Manohar is a boy. In that case, I feel like this is you. This is talking about you. Shilpa, you have been trying to set structure for yourself, trying to reach your goals, and then Manohar keeps you away from those goals. He finds reasons why your goals are not good enough or why your methods to get there isn't good enough. And every time that you try and take action towards manifesting your dreams, then he has something to say, or he does something that brings you away from those dreams instead of helping you get there. That's a past interval card though. It's things that are coming to a close. This is something that's about to stop happening. This happened in 2021, where you were trying to reach for a goal of yours, and then he would get in the way of that goal, but it's something that's now finished. At the end of this month, 2022, the end of January 2022 is the end of that process. No longer is he going to be able to get in the way of your objectives. Present interval is the number 1 of the trumps, and it is the Magus. So this card talks about communication. This is you communicating. It's you communicating to Manohar. You're trying to reach out to him. You're expressing all of your problems that you've had in the past, and all the ways that everything that happened in 2021 where you were trying to reach your goal and then he got in the way. You're communicating that to him. You're communicating your feelings in the present. You have new goals that you've set for yourself and you're communicating that to him. And you're communicating it with other people too. You're expressing yourself and your intentions and your goals. It's the first step. You have thoughts, and the first thing you do when you want to make your thoughts real and see them manifested is to speak about them. As soon as you speak about them, you give them their very first physical form, and then that allows the potential for it to manifest, to become a reality. As soon as you speak about it, now suddenly it has the potential to become a reality. And that's what you've been doing. You've been communicating your intentions. You've been communicating what you are planning to manifest for yourself in 2022. You're communicating it with Manohar. You're communicating it with your family and with other people. Marketing, basically, spreading awareness. And you're doing this through every available means. You're writing, you're texting, you're speaking, you are photographing, drawing. You're using all of the various means, all the mediums for communication that are at your disposal. Now you're asking me, is he trapped in black magic? That is not the question that you asked me. So yeah, one free question, one free reading per person. Let's see what the future interval has to say. So your future interval here is number 21 of the trumps. And so now that I have all 3 cards turned over, I have the answer to your question. Why is Manohar not coming towards you? The universe has taken him out of your life because he has been a detriment to your goals. You have been praying, you have been casting spells, maybe, I don't know. You've been praying, you've been saying to the universe, I want you want something from life, and the universe has said, okay, well, I'm going to give that to you, but in order for you to get it, I'm going to have to take certain people out of your life. And Manohar is one of those people that needs to be taken out of your life before you can see your goals and your dreams become real. So that's why he's not coming towards you, because the universe is keeping him away from you. The universe is taking him out of your life. Now, what's about to open up for you is you learning to overcome your shadow. There are certain things that people say, certain things that people do, and certain things that happen in your day, in your life from day to day that kind of sabotage your efforts. You say, okay, if I want something, I'm going to have to work for it. So then you say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then you try and do it, and then someone says something, or someone does something, or you see an advert, or you get distracted by something, and then it keeps you away from what you had planned to do. It sabotages your efforts. So what's opening up for you is you starting to become aware of that and see it clearly when it happens, and then to find ways to work around it. So here's an example. Let's say I want to write an article. So I open up Facebook because I want to write an article on Facebook, but then I get distracted by my news feed and I end up scrolling for hours and not actually writing that article. That's an example. So then to work around it, now that I'm aware, I say, okay, every time that I want to go and write an article, I'll get distracted by things that people are posting on Facebook. So what can I do about it? Okay, I can not open Facebook. I can write my article in Word or a text editing app, and then I can copy and paste it into Facebook afterwards. And that will be a way that I can work around my shadow, work around my triggers, and work around distractions. So that's what's opening up for you, is you becoming aware of the things in your life, the stimulus, the variables that sabotage your efforts, that keep you away from accomplishing your goals and completing your tasks, and finding ways to work around them. And yeah, that concludes your reading. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will encourage you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to express your gratitude for my reading, then please feel free to send a tip of your choosing, but that is entirely optional. You are welcome, and thank you for joining me. I'm sure that I'll be seeing you again. Just to let everybody know, tomorrow I'm going to be doing free spellcasting from 2:30 GMT plus 2. So if you guys have any desires, anything that you want to manifest into your life, join me tomorrow for some free spellcasting to help you make sure that happens for you. Okay, next in my queue is Pommers. How can I make my life better by the end of the year? So Pommers, let me know if you're still here, because you're up next in the queue. Amazing. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for your question. What can Pommers be doing in the present in order to improve his circumstances, his or her circumstances, by the end of 2022? Okay, so your past interval here is the 7 of Swords reversed. Excuse me. So this card talks about overwhelm. It's your past interval, so it's where you've come from. It's something that's already happened, and it's something that's closing in the present. Vivek, if you have asked your question, then you are in the queue. Thank you. Basically, 2021, you felt overwhelmed. Too much responsibility. Too many decisions to make. So it was like a fear of failure. You had a desire, and you wanted to take action. You had been taking action towards that desire, and that was to improve your circumstances, same as it is now. And then you were met with decisions that you had to make, and you didn't know which decision would be the right one that would bring you closer to your outcome of your desire. So that led you to not make any decision at all. And more than that, having responsibilities, knowing that there are certain things you have to be doing consistently that are responsibilities, that are priorities when it comes to seeing your desires made real and to see your purpose and your goals accomplished. And you felt like there was too much. So it was overwhelming, and you ended up working on things that were less important and allowing things that were important to fall away. And this card is only coming up to make you aware of that so that you can avoid those same mistakes in the future. The card wants to advise you and say, when you are faced with decisions that have to be made, take a moment to observe your outcome. So what is it that you originally planned to create for yourself? What was the original goal? And then make your decision based on that goal. And then when it comes to responsibilities, if you feel like you're overwhelmed, like there is so much that needs to get done, first of all, realize that you don't have to have everything figured out at once. You don't have to complete all of your responsibilities at once. And the advice the card has there for you is to just take a moment to see what's most important to your outcome. Which productive task should you be working on right now that is most important to the outcome? And then make a list of what's most important from order of priority to least priority, most priority to least priority, and then work on those tasks from most important. Regardless of how you're feeling, work on it from most important. And then it doesn't actually matter if you only get one of those things done, because you still completed one of your responsibilities. You still put one foot in front of the other and got one step closer to your outcome. Your present interval card is the Five of Wands. So this is an encouragement and a recognition. This card is saying that in the present you are already doing the best that you can with what you know and with what you have towards the outcome that you want to create by the end of this year. You want to improve your circumstances by the end of the year? Well, this card is saying kudos. You are applying yourself to the best of your ability regarding that desire, and stay consistent with it. This card is saying you might feel like there's so much space between now and the end of the year, and the amount of progress that you're seeing might feel like you're stagnating, like you're not actually seeing the progress that you're hoping for. This card just wants to say to you, don't worry about it. Just stay focused on what you're doing. Just stay focused and continue to apply yourself to your maximum potential. All of your knowledge and all of your resources, keep on applying them. And then the other piece of advice this card wants to say to you is that you only need to be taking one step at a time. You don't have to jump in leaps and bounds. As long as you are, like this card is saying, ticking off one of those responsibilities, you are still moving towards your outcome. So as long as you're putting one foot in front of the other, it's okay. You don't have to take giant steps. Baby steps are fine. The more that you move forward, every step that you take, you're going to overcome your previous limitations. You have limits on how much you know. You have limits on how much resource you have access to. Resource being things like technology and finances. So that card is just saying that as you move forward, you're going to get access to new resources, and you're going to learn new things and get new experiences. But yeah, don't try and leap further than what your current resources and your current knowledge can carry you. Just put one foot in front of the other. Take steps that are as big as you can manage. Trying to take steps that are too big will result in regression rather than progression. It'll be like, okay, so I'm not seeing the progress that I want, so I'm going to invest more, but you don't actually have enough to do that. So then you take a giant leap forward and then take two giant leaps backwards. Rather take smaller steps so that you know you're consistently moving forward. That's the advice that card has for you. And future interval, 10 of Cups. So what's about to open up for you is emotional satiety, emotional security, peace, basically. All of the anxiety you've been feeling, fear of failure, all of those things are about to be laid to rest. As you move into February, you're going to look back at January, at the first, like New Year's, and you're gonna see how much progress you've made because you've been applying yourself to your maximum potential. You're gonna see how much progress you've made. Yeah, day to day, week to week, you don't necessarily see that, but month to month, you can look back and see how much progress you've made. So come February, You're going to have a look at where you've come from, where you started out. You're going to have a look at where you were February 2021, and you're going to see just how much progress you were, and that's going to bring you a sense of peace, knowing that as long as you are staying consistent with what you are doing, you will get to the destination that you're going towards, and that's all that matters. So you don't have to stress, don't have to don't have to stress. There can be peace. You can rest assured that you are moving towards your destination, that the end of the year will look like change, will look like growth, because you are applying yourself to your maximum potential in the present. And that's the conclusion of your reading. So thank you very much, Palmers. You are already subscribed, so thank you very much for that. You can check me out on my other platforms and support me there too. Give me a like and a share on Facebook or YouTube, and a subscription on YouTube. Or you can even go so far as to send a donation if you're by the means, but that is optional. You are welcome, Palmers. I'm so glad that you were blessed by that reading. Welcome to the chat, Shane. And your question, it adds you to the queue automatically for a general reading. So you can rest assured that you will be getting your general reading. Well, let me check the countdown. Yeah, there's still plenty of time. You'll get your reading. Okay. So next in my queue is Louise Smith Black on Facebook. Louise, let me know if you're here, because you're up next for a reading. Louise on Facebook, you are up next for a reading. Your question was, is my mother around me? Welcome to the chat, Nuno Olivier. Your question automatically adds you to the queue, so thank you very much for your question. There are some requests, quite a few requests ahead of you in the queue, so if you want to skip that queue, you can send a $5 tip. That'll skip you and you'll be up next. I mean, that'll skip the queue. It'll skip everyone else in the queue and put you up next. Is Louise's mother around her? And what message does her mother have for her? Welcome to the chat, Tia Richards. Welcome to my stream. And you can join the queue by asking a question. That'll automatically add you to the queue. I do general readings too, but if you'd like that, just let me know. Just confirm, just say general, and that'll add you to the queue. Otherwise, you can ask your own custom question. Palmer says, I feel so much better after hearing that reading. You truly have given me peace of mind. Thank you for your recognition. Okay, so Louise, we've got a 3 of Swords for you in the position of the past. This is where you've come from. It's things that have already taken place. And 3 is about enlightenment, like enlightenment in the form of becoming aware of things that you weren't aware of before, noticing things. It's like realizing what's going on when you didn't know before. And Swords is to do with purpose and intuition. So basically this card is saying that recently you have gone through some things that made you become more self-aware, more aware of your environment, more aware of when your intuition is interacting with you. Like, you might have felt nudges, you might have felt little messages, and suddenly something happened and you became aware, oh snap, that is my intuition talking to me, and I can listen to it. More than that, it's talking about purpose and goals. So you had goals that you were working towards, and you became aware, you suddenly became aware of what was actually required of you in order to see those goals become a reality for you, to see them completed, and to see your purpose realized. That period of realization is now coming to a close. There is a little bit more that this card is saying. It's saying that intuition, that when you became aware of it, and when you became aware of what what would be required of you in order to see your purpose realized. When you realize what your purpose is, it brought with it a sense of sorrow, like knowing things you didn't know before. It was heavy. Something that King Solomon often said is that wisdom is pain, knowledge is suffering. To know, the more you know, the more pain you endure. The wiser you are, the more you suffer. In your present, we have a 6 of Cups. So what this card is saying to me is that you're learning ways to cope with grief. You were doing the best that you could. You had all of these difficult emotions that came up whenever you thought about your mother, whenever you felt her presence. And you had certain experience dealing with difficult emotions, and you knew certain things about coping with grief. You had some knowledge about it, so you were applying those things to the best of your ability. And now you're overcoming your previous limitations and learning healthier and new ways to cope with grief and to cope with your emotions. And that's happening through interaction and through relationship. You're interacting with new people, forming new connections, joining support groups, and communicating with these people. And as you're interacting, you're sharing your experiences, your knowledge, with how to cope with difficult emotions and how to cope with grief, and they're sharing their experiences and their knowledge. And so you guys are all helping each other overcome your previous limitations and evolve into stronger emotional state of being. Future interval is a Knight of Swords. So this is what's about to open up for you. And this is a result of the 3 of Swords. So you becoming aware of what purpose is. So I just want to give a little note on purpose. It's when you have identified what your heart's true desire is, like why you chose to incarnate on earth in the first place. You had a desire. You wanted to see something happen for you and for others. So there's this desire in your heart, true deep desire in your heart. And you realize that as soon as you start taking action towards seeing that desire become a reality, that's when you are living in your purpose. And so what's about to open up for you is you letting go of everything you previously thought was your purpose. All of the old purposes, all of the old goals that you had that are not aligned with that heart's true desire. You're going to be letting go of all of those things, killing them, essentially. That whole person, that whole ego, that whole identity that was built up around your old purposes, you're going to kill that aspect of yourself so that you can give birth to this new being, to this being that is authentic, that lives authentically within her purpose. And so that is the message that your mother has for you. She's encouraging you to make that shift. And your answer is yes, your mother is always nearby. There will be times when her presence is absent, but whenever you want to reach out to her, you can. Like shortly after a person passes, they come in and out of your space without permission. And at a certain point they stop because they move on. But that doesn't mean they're not there. It just means that when you want to get to them, you have to go to them. They're not going to be coming to you anymore. So when a person dies and they're in between realities and they come in and out of the space, they come to you. But once they've moved on, then you have to go to them. You have to reach out to them, speak to them. You can set up an altar to her, and then you can go into ceremony and request her guidance when you go to the altar. And that'll be how you get to her. Okay, so I just want to say thank you to Tia Richards for her question. Your question adds you to the queue automatically. And then welcome, I want to say a welcome to God Blessings, who says, my name is Gopika Carol, and asking what is stopping me presently from moving forward in life. And so I want to say thank you to you, Gopika. your question automatically adds you to the queue for a reading. And yeah, so we will be getting to you. There is a queue and there is a timer. I only give away free readings for 2 hours during these streams. So this timer here, this countdown clock, will tell you how much time we have left on that 2 hours. There are quite a few requests, and I just want to let all my viewers know that you can skip the queue with a $5 tip. And also, I don't mind sticking around to give more readings after that queue closes, but after the queue closes, it's a $3 minimum tip to continue having readings, receiving readings. $3 tip, yeah, minimum. $5 to skip the queue while the free readings are still going, and yeah, $3 tips after the free readings have ended. Having a look to see who is next up for a free reading. It's a Ria Tasha on Facebook. Ria Tasha on Facebook asking, can I have a love reading? If you are still around, please let me know. Please confirm. No, Vivek, you are not too late. You are up next, I see. I think. Let me just confirm that. Yeah. You are after Ria, so there's still plenty of time for you to get a reading. A little bit more patience and you'll be next. Ria Tasha on Facebook for a love reading. If you are still here, please let me know. Please confirm you are up next. Waiting for my golden words. Thank you, Vivek. One last time, calling Ria Tasha on Facebook. Okay, moving on to Vivek. Vivek wants to know, will my brother Rajiv Basak, will he come out of his toxic relationship? So Vivek, do you know who, is that your birth name? Do you know who Vivek is? Vivek is the warrior poet. A god form. Google him. Not now, but yeah, Google Vivek. The warrior poet man god. Will Rajiv learn some self-respect and exit his toxic relationship? Are you saying yes, you know who Vivek is? Okay, so your past interval here, his past interval, Rajiv's past interval, is number 10 of the trumps, not of the trumps, number 10 of cups reversed. So this talks about arriving in a fullness of unhealthy feelings, of difficult, painful feelings, coming into their fullness. When I have had this, like an example of what this card looks like for a person is like when I got divorced. The pain of the loss of that relationship was so great that like I would lay on the floor under the table crying for hours. And that's a 10 of cups reversed energy. Now it doesn't always look that intense, but this card is basically saying that that is what he's experienced in past relationships. When they came to a close, when they came to an end, it was dramatically and drastically painful for him. And so that's one of the main reasons that he is reluctant to leave this relationship, why he is prepared to endure the abuse daily and the toxicity daily, because he feels like he's so afraid of this card, so afraid of having this again, this pain, when that relationship ends. In the present, we have a 4 of Swords reversed. So what this card is saying to me is that this relationship, the toxicity of this relationship, the biggest effect that it's having on his life is that it is sabotaging his routine and his structure. So he has goals. He has desires that he wants to realize. He wants to take action to see his goals realized. And so he sets routine and structure in place. Productive tasks. He chooses productive tasks that he's going to complete in a day, in a week, in a month, in order to get closer to his goals and see them completed. But this relationship, the biggest effect that it has is on his routine and his schedule. It sabotages his efforts towards his goals. It slows him down. It breaks his authority. It takes his authority away from his routine. Like here's an example. I haven't really been in a relationship like this, but what I've seen in other relationships, toxic relationships, is that one party says, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the day, and then as soon as they start doing that, then the toxic partner will start to create drama, will start to find reasons to argue and take attention away from the partner who's trying to work on his routine, and basically interrupt the schedule and prevent him from actually applying himself to his goals. So that's what's going on for him in the present. He's trying to work on his mission, on his goals, on his purpose, but every time that he sits down to do that, then his partner, his toxic partner, starts creating drama, distracting him and taking his attention away from his goals. Okay, future interval is the 5 of discs. It is reversed. So the 5 of discs is about applying yourself, applying your resources and applying your knowledge in order to accomplish growth and changes in your health and in your finances. But this card is reversed, so this is something that's about to open up for him. It's something he can still change, but basically if he continues on the way he's going right now, he's going to try and catch up on work that was lost. So here we see he is being interfered with, his goals are being interfered with, so he's going to try and catch up on all the work that was lost in a small space of time. He's going to try and jump too far, and he's going to get hurt doing that. He's going to do more damage to his goals and more damage to his purpose than benefit by trying to jump too far, trying to fit too much in to a small period of time. But he can, if he acknowledges that before that opportunity opens for him, then he can, basically the advice that the card has to say is don't try and fit too much in. Don't try and cram all of the work that you've lost into a small space of time. Rather just do what you can. Rather just put one foot in front of the other when you get a chance. Don't try and leap somewhere that you can't get to. Rather just take a small step. Just take the step that you're capable of taking. And that's the advice that this has. So this oh snap. This might be what he needs. This might be exactly what he needs. He might need to fail. He might need to apply himself to his maximum potential and leap too far ahead and fall and get hurt. That might be what he needs in order to get out of this relationship, because otherwise He's more afraid of the pain of the breakup than of the pain of the day-to-day abuse. And that is the conclusion of your reading, Vivek. Thank you for joining. Yeah, please like and share and follow me. Thank you for your question, Tasha. Your question adds you to the queue automatically. Please refrain from asking your question more than once. Asking your question once is enough. If you repeat your question, it only creates confusion for me and for you and for everyone else. Vivek says, thank you so much. You have been a gem of a person and your words are an inspiration as always. Thank you for your recognition and your kind words, Vivek. Tomorrow at 2:30 GMT plus 2:30 p.m. I'm going to be casting spells. I'm going to be offering free manifestation spells. So if anyone wants to manifest something into their life, into this year, please join me tomorrow for that. And welcome Chandray. Current feelings and plans of Saurav. When will he contact? He never contacted me after the 25th. What is going on? Any conflicts regarding me with his mother? Thank you for your question, Chandray. You automatically added to the queue. So next in my queue is Happy on Facebook. Hafsa Jamal. When will I get a new job? So Happy aka Hafsa Jamal. If you are still here, please let me know, because you are next in the queue up for a reading. Happy aka Hafsa Jamal. When will I get a new job? If you are still here, let me know. You are up next for a reading. Last call for Hafsa Jamal, aka Happy. Okay, moving on. Next in the queue is Kiati Parma. Kiati Parma says, I lost my job. Will I get a new one soon? So, Kiati Parma on Facebook, if you are here, please let me know. One. After Kiati is Shane Walker. That's one. After Shane Walker is Nuno Olivia, so that's two. Who's after that? After that is Tia Richards. Looks like it is, yeah, Tia Richards, so that's three. And then we have God Blessings, which is four. And then we have Tasha Nolson, that's five. And then we have Chandray. So you're number 6, Chandray. Number 6. And I don't think we have enough time for 6 more readings, to be honest. No, we don't. We have time enough for like 3 or 4, maximum 4. Welcome Donna Bruce, thank you for joining. It's always good to have new names and faces. Please like and share and follow. You ask a question to join the queue, but my queue is full, so there isn't much time. I have time for like 3 or 4 readings, and there are 6 readings in the queue. So you guys, I can stick around and keep giving readings after the queue closes, but that is That would be gratuity based, so any donations or tips will, $3 minimum will secure you. Make sure that I stay long enough to give you a reading, even if that closes. There are 8 viewers in my... Tasha, I have 8 viewers. There are multiple platforms. I'm on Twitch, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube. And there are 8 viewers in the chat. So, I've lost my place in the queue. Where was I? We skipped Ria. Ooh, there I lose my place again. We skipped Happy Happy. We skipped Kiati. Yeah, I'm busy doing that. Next would be Shane Walker. Shane Walker, are you still here? Let me know. You're up next for your general reading. Shane Walker, please let me know if you're still here. Josh the Druid, Josh the Multitasker. Got so many names now. Okay, moving on. Nuno Oliviera. Nuno Oliviera. If you are here, please let me know. You are up next for your reading regarding whether or not your ex will come back to you. Nuno Oliviera. Amazing. Thank you for confirming. So many names and so many titles at this point. The most recent name is Enoch. Before that it was Adrian. People give me names all the time and titles. Druid, Wizard. What was the most recent one before it was Druid? It was Urban Witch. Urban Witch, yeah. That was the label, the title before. Okay. Is this a yes or no question? Nuno? Do you want a yes or no question? A yes or no answer? Because I can use the pendulum to answer you with clear yes or no. The tarot does sometimes give clear yeses and nos, but that's actually quite rare. This deck anyway. It prefers to be, yeah, it prefers not to be yes or no. Prefers not to give those. On behalf of Nuno Oliveira, will the ex-wife return? That side-to-side swinging is a clear no. There is a slight clockwise motion. That clockwise motion is saying to me that if you want your ex-wife back, you should reach out. You should make amends. You should take responsibility for any mistakes you made. Like, yeah, sure, some people can be rude and toxic, and that's not okay. But when they are rude and toxic, then that often we react by saying things that are rude and toxic and spiteful in return. So it will be, if you want her back, go and make amends, take responsibility for all the times that you reacted badly, all the times that you reacted well. Take responsibility for it all. Express yourself. Say you want to give second chances. You want a second chance. Basically, the pendulum is saying, if you want it, go and grab it. And then even if you don't get it, you can at least say you did your best and you tried and you didn't just let that relationship fall away. So, yeah. Wild card for you, Nuno, number 8 of the trumps. And this is saying that you have a desire that you've been working on. You have a goal, an end goal, an outcome that you've been trying to manifest, whatever it might be, if that's with the relationship or if that's with your career or whatever it is. But right now, what you should be doing is having a look at what kind of person lives in that reality. So you have this vision of your outcome. What kind of person do you actually need to become before you can see that outcome as a reality? And then look at yourself in the present and see what's the difference between the person you have to become and the person that you are, and then start making the shifts that are necessary. Start making the shifts so that you can become, making the lifestyle changes, making the habit changes, so that you can be the person that you need to be in order to see your goal and your outcome realized. Welcome to the chat, Shauna. To get into the queue, you got to ask a question. That'll automatically add you. Welcome, Balogan Ifa Tomiwa. Welcome, Balogan Ifa Tomiwa. Please refrain from spamming my chat. Your spamming will result in an immediate and effective ban. So, yeah. Just chill out, dude. Just chill out. And then Shauna says, what does Spirit want me to know? That's an excellent question. And Nuna says, thank you very much. You are welcome, Nuna. So I've only got like 20 minutes and only got like 12 minutes left on my clock. So that's enough for like 2 more readings. And then, yeah, then we'll be done here. All readings thereafter will become gratuity based. That light is making some strange sounds. Very interesting. Oh, it looks like, what is this guy? Balogan blocked himself. I'm checking out my notifications now, Donna. See if I got a notification. And I did. So Donna is up next with a priority tip. Who did I just read for, Nuno? So Tia Richards will probably be the last free reading of the day, but we have Donna Bruce up next with a priority tip. Is February looking good for me? I usually watch you. Never asked a question. I'm going to PayPal you. Thank you very much, Donna. Thank you very much for your tip and your support. Alright, so what is on the table for Donna in February? And how can she claim whatever it is she desires from February? Okay, so your past interval here is the Three of Cups reversed. So Cups is about emotions and 3 is about realization. It's like becoming aware, suddenly noticing things you didn't notice before. Enlightenment, it's like, just noticing things you didn't notice before, learning about things, or suddenly realizing that something's been there the whole time that you weren't aware of before, and that's to do with your emotions. And the reversed card indicates that is an unhealthy emotion. Well, not necessarily unhealthy, no emotion is unhealthy. It's a negative emotion, a difficult one. Difficult, that's the right word, difficult emotion. And it's in the position of your past, so it's what you've been going through in January. You want peace, you want emotional security and emotional peace, you want to feel okay in your emotional self, and so February, the things that happened in February and the processes you attempted, you had goals to reach and you had priorities to look after and bread to put on the table, etc. So as you were working with all of these responsibilities and goals, you became aware of dissatisfaction in your emotional being. You became aware of difficult emotions that you didn't realize were there before. You became aware of where it was rooted and what was bringing those things up for you, where you had been unaware of it in the past. So you also became aware of what was necessary for you, what is going to be required of you if you're actually going to find peace, what you're going to have to change in your life, what you're going to have to change in your behavior and in your day-to-day routine and schedule, things that are going to have to change, what's required in order for you to find the emotional security and emotional peace that you're looking for. And when you became aware of how much needs to shift and what it is that's actually bringing these difficult emotions in, it almost removed hope. It almost made you feel hopeless, like there isn't really hope to have the emotional peace that you're looking for, because the things that you're going to have to change and the things you're going to have to cut out of your life are things that you have an attachment to, that you've needed, that need to be there. And it makes you feel a little bit hopeless. But the advice that this card has, and the reason it comes up in your past, is that you can make those changes within February. You can make those changes now so that February can be peaceful. And more than that, the card wants to just it's saying to me that a mystic can be comfortable in hell. Doesn't matter what situation you're in, you can make yourself comfortable, you can find peace. And the key to that peace, the key to making yourself comfortable in even the most difficult situation, is gratitude. Being grateful for what you have and what you're receiving, finding reasons to be grateful, finding things. Like I often say, okay, if I've had a really crap day and I haven't been recognized, so living day to day, I have responsibilities to fulfill, but there are people in my life that I interact with who benefit from me fulfilling my responsibilities, and then there are times when they don't recognize the effort that I'm making, and they almost try and make me feel like I'm not doing enough. And then so I sit and I'm feeling depressed and I say, I am grateful for the opportunity to support the people that I love. regardless of whether or not they appreciate it. So that is key to finding peace in difficult situations, checking out what your present interval is, and it is the Sun reversed. So this card is saying to me that in the present moment, you are giving a lot of yourself into your environment and into the people in your environment, in your life. The Sun card, it talks about you being the sun, you being the center of your universe, of your reality. All the people in your space, they revolve around your efforts, they revolve around the energy that you radiate. Your environment brings forth its abundance because of your existence. Just like the sun gives our planet its potential, you give your environment and the people in it their potential. And so the card reversed means that you're doing that too deliberately. You're putting that effort out, you're putting that energy out constantly, giving of yourself, people pleasing. What is the other thing? Doing things that you don't want to do for the sake of others. And that is draining your cup. It's going to remove the amount of energy. It's going to drain your energy, and at a certain point you're going to go dark. You're not going to be able to radiate anymore. So the advice that card has for you is to turn it around so that you exist authentically. If you exist authentically and you only do the things you enjoy doing, then you radiate authentically. You're not deliberately putting energy out, and the people in your life will still benefit and will still receive potential. That's the way it should be. That's the intuitive way to do things. To deliberately be giving of your energy it seems like it's the right way to go, but it's actually unintuitive. It's not sustainable. You can't continue to give energy if you are deliberately giving energy, if that makes sense. Like, your cup gets filled, and we use a cup as an example. Your cup is being filled slowly. There are drops of water that are being put into the cup. It's being filled. So it will at some point start overflowing onto the cups around it. But if you are deliberately pouring from that cup, the cup is going to run dry before. The amount that's going in versus the amount that's coming out is not going to be balanced, and the cup is going to run dry. Moving on to future interval. Your future interval is the 8 of Swords. It's reversed. This is what's opening up for you. There's something. I feel like I got bit on the back of the head here by some insect. Excuse me. This is what's about to open up for you. It's future interval, things that are opening up, and it's the 8 of Swords. So Swords is to do with purpose, and 8 is about making shifts and adjustments. So that's making adjustments to yourself in the interest of your purpose, and your purpose is your goals. You set purpose for yourself, you set goals for yourself. When you are taking action to accomplish your desires, then you have set purpose and you are living in purpose. And basically what that is saying to me is that you have goals and you've been working on them, and recently you've made some decisions regarding those goals, and you've made a list of priorities of what's important to those goals and that outcome. And now what's about to open up for you is making changes to yourself and your lifestyle and your habits and your routine in order to bring it into alignment with those goals. That's what's opening up for you. That's what you should focus your energy on in February 2022. If you want it to be, you say, is it looking good for you? If you want it to be a good month for you, there are some shifts that you're going to have to make regarding your goals for February. You want to see a certain amount of progress in February regarding your personal growth and your career growth and everything, your emotional growth. So to accomplish those goals, you've already made a decision on what those goals are and how you're going to get there. Now some changes need to be made to habits, routine, and lifestyle in order to bring you into alignment with those goals, in order to bring you to turn yourself into the person that you need to be in order to see that realized for you. And that concludes your reading. So thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you very much for your physical financial support. And I would encourage you to also like and share and follow me, and you can also check out my other platforms for the same purpose. Much appreciation and thanks. Wishing you wealth and prosperity beyond measure. And now I'm going to give away the last free reading of the day. Actually, I'm just checking. Yeah, I'm about to give away the last free reading of the day, and it goes to Tia. Oh, look at that. Queue closed right as I said that. Don't worry, Tia. I'm gonna give you your reading if you're still here. Let me know, Tia. You'll be the last free reading of the day. Tia Richards. Tia Richards. Last call for Tia Richards. You are most welcome, Donna, and thank you. I hope that I'll be seeing you again. Letting everyone who's viewing know, tomorrow at 2:30 GMT plus 2, that's 2:30 p.m., I'm going to be doing live spellcasting. So, yeah, if you got anything you want to manifest and see realized into your life, join me tomorrow for some spells, and we can make it happen. So Tia Richards is receiving the last free reading of the day. It's a love reading for 2022. What does Tia's love life look like in 2022? Here on out, all readings are gratuity based. That's $3 tip minimum. What kind of spell casting? What kind? I'm basically offering basic executable servitors. So what that looks like is collecting all of your desire, all of what you want to manifest and the means to get there, collecting it into a single point and putting a lot of energy and focus into that point. So there is energy and psychic residue around all of your thoughts and all of your plans and intentions, but it's quite dispersed. You have to look at all of it individually. You can't focus on all of it at once. So the point of the servitor, the executable servitor, is to gather all of that energy into a single point, into a single image, and then focus all of one's energy and emotion onto that single point. Yes, I can definitely banish evil intenders and harmful people. I can bind people up and throw them in the freezer. But that's fetish crafting, and I charge for fetish crafting. Okay, so Tia, your past interval card is the Two of Cups reversed. This card is basically saying that you had potential for emotional fulfillment last year, and you reached out to grab it, and that fulfillment looked like self-love. It came in the form of self-love, and you reached for it, but then you neglected it. You didn't stay committed to yourself. You know, the relationship that you've had for the longest is the relationship you have with yourself. The person you're going to know the longest is yourself. The closest, most intimate relationship you're ever going to have is with yourself. And this was a 2021, and recently you've had a lot of opportunities to nourish yourself and care for yourself and give yourself the emotional support and emotional abundance that you were looking for in a partner, and you reached for it and you attempt to do so, but then you don't commit to yourself. You're unfaithful to yourself. Basically, you say, yes, I'm gonna give you bubble baths every Tuesday, and we're gonna make it really romantic, and we're gonna burn incense and put rose petals in the water with some bath salts, and just make it a beautiful self-love exercise, and then you don't stay consistent with that commitment to yourself. That's an example. But yeah, that card is saying that there's been a lot of potential for emotional fulfillment that you needed to give yourself, and you reached out to give yourself that abundance and that emotional support, but you don't commit to the things that you promised to yourself. Present interval is number 19 of the trumps. We saw this in the last reading too, except it was reversed. So this is saying that in the present, you are existing authentically. You're just being true to who you are, just living. You're not like trying to dress up any specific way for the men, or put on a full face of makeup every time you go out, or blow dry and flat iron your hair for the sake of your image and the sake of attracting partners. You're just being yourself naturally and be like, hey, if I prefer having short clip nails, I'm just gonna have short clip nails. I'm not gonna go and get my nails done and inconvenience myself for the sake of someone else. And that's healthy. That's a healthy change. That's a healthy way to be behaving in the present. And you automatically, by existing authentically like that, you're attracting authenticity. As you exist authentically, you're attracting the authentic man, the kind of person that would be most healthy for you. And you're basically, it's like you put up a barrier around yourself where you're not attracting the wrong kind of attention. You're attracting people that are in the same energy frequency as you. And at the same time, you also give yourself more time. You give yourself more space. You just have more opportunity to work on your own personal projects and give your environment and your projects their potential to be completed and bring about abundance in your life. So, yeah. It's a great card. Love to see it. Kudos to you for that. I love to see authenticity. Future interval is number 18 of the trumps. It is called the Moon. And this card is about realization in every sense of the word. So this is what's about to open up for you. It looks like February, it looks like March. It looks like the next couple of months, next couple of weeks, next couple of months. And realization, first of all, realizing that you actually have everything that you need in order to see your goals accomplished and to see your desires manifested. And secondly, applying that in order to realize your goals and manifest your desires. So, yeah, realization in every sense of the word. This card is basically saying that you're asking about love life, you're going to manifest the partner that you have been looking for in the next couple of months. It's about to happen. It's about to open for you. The manifestation, the realization of what you want, of the partner you're looking for, is about to come into your reality. That's what's about to open up for you. And that is the conclusion of your reading. So thank you very much. Yeah. And that concludes all of the free readings that I was giving away today. If anyone else would like to receive a reading today, that would be a $3 tip minimum. But yeah, I'm happy to stick around as long as you guys are happy to tip. Thank you very much, everybody who joined, everybody who liked and shared and followed me, and everybody who tipped me and sent donations. I am so appreciative. And all the recognition, you know, kind words you guys have to say. I really appreciate it. And then Chandray is saying, does herb magic, oils and baths with oils and salts and petals work considerably or faintly? Okay, so Chandray, the physical items, the oils, the petals, the salts, none of that stuff is actually important. Those are props. The physical thing is very unimportant when it comes to spells and magic. It's about the spiritual thing that it represents. It's all props. Like even crystals are props. Everything is props. It's to help you focus your mind on something. It's not actually the magic. The physical things are not the magic. It's what's going on in your mind and in your emotional being that is important. So for some people, props work really well. Having oils and having salts and herbs and all of that stuff really helps them focus their mind and focus their emotions. And for other people, it doesn't. So yeah, it's not about, you ask, is it effective? Is it not effective? It's not about the physical stuff. So the physical stuff alone will be ineffective. It's about the emotional and the emotional energy. Emotions are literally energy. Emotions power spells like electricity powers a computer, or a light bulb or other technology. Emotions power magical technology like electricity powers scientific technology. And so it's about your focus, not about the physical stuff. For example, when I last time I went live, there was a pedestal here with all kinds of ingredients on it. Those things are symbols for me. I collect them to use as symbols, and then I play with the symbols and do things to the symbols, and that's a representation of what I'm doing in the spiritual. So a representation, like I'll say, okay, this rose represents certain emotions that I'm going to conjure and feel and channel, and then I will move that rose around, or I will crush it up and apply it to something else, and that's symbolic of me pouring those emotions into something else, if that makes sense. So that's, the physical items are very unimportant when it comes to magic. It's actually about what's going on up here and in here. So yeah, I'll be doing some magic and spellcasting tomorrow at 2:30 GMT plus 2. Google is your friend. If you want to find out where your time zone is in comparison to GMT plus 2, just Google it. And yeah, peace and prosperity to you all. Thank you for sharing, Tia. Although I am about to end, it's all good. People can, just go and watch the relive and get to see if they like what I do, because I also offer private readings, and in my private readings I give more than just 3 cards. I have 6 card offerings and 10 card offerings, and I guess 5 card offerings too, but I very seldomly do that. Chandray says, right, I got it. And then you said this time what? Anyway, no, not this time. 2:30. So I'm late today. I came live late. I took a nap when I would normally go live. I was exhausted. So yeah. Tomorrow at 2:30. So it's now 21:13 on this Sunday, and I started about 2 hours and 13 minutes ago, so that would have been 7 o'clock that I went live. So tomorrow I'm going to be going live at 2:30, much earlier than 7. But anyway, wishing you all wealth and prosperity beyond measure. I will be doing spellcasting tomorrow, and Wednesday I'll be doing energy healing and Reiki, and then Friday I'll be doing tarot again, Friday and Sunday. See you then.